Nice try.
I call Barry Coates.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to talk about the Taxation Business Tax Exchange of Information Remedial Matters Bill 2016. The Green Party is continuing to support this bill. We have major reservations on it. It is, however, a step forward, so we will be supporting this bill, although with some concern that what we regard as our constructive proposals so far have not adequately been incorporated in the bill. At the core of this bill are two issues that the Green Party has campaigned on for a long time. The first is to simplify tax treatment for small business. And certainly we regard the pay-as-you-go tax provisions to be a major step forward for small business. Part of my own background is working with small business, and I see the importance of cash flow considerations for small business. As I say, cash flow is king, and this provision in this bill will help cash flow for small business, so we warmly support its inclusion. And the second major aspect of the bill from our perspective is an issue again that the Green Party has been campaigning on for a long time. It's greater transparency around foreign trusts. Now, you know, there's a lot of history to this issue of foreign trusts, and I pay tribute to the former Green Party leader, Russell Norman, who in 2011 banged on about foreign trusts at a time that nobody else was doing so. And you know, we should not really be patting ourselves on the back for introducing this regulation 6 years later, given the warnings of New Zealand's risk to our reputation, an issue which was then subsequently highlighted by the Inland Revenue Department. And our international reputation has been put sorely at risk by our policies in the past. Unfortunately, it appears that the national government were lobbied. As many people remember, the former Prime Minister's personal lawyer visibly lobbied for this issue to be swept under the carpet, and the Revenue Minister, Peter Dunn, talked about legitimate tax avoidance in the spirit of leaving things as they were. And it really took the leak of the Panama Papers to bring this issue up to public salience, and I think we ought to be congratulating those investigative journalists who brought this issue to a public audience in a way that has forced this change. Subsequently, the government inquiry into foreign trust disclosure rules, the so-called Sherwin Review, came up with what we think are some sound proposals, and it's why we're supporting this bill, but they don't go too far, and they don't go far enough. And I would like us to remember why this is a problem. It's a problem because tax havens are $1 trillion industry worldwide. They are a driver behind the situation where the obscenely wealthy are able to avoid paying tax. And as Oxfam's research recently showed, and many of you know that I headed Oxfam New Zealand for a number of years, 62 people in the world own as much wealth as half of the world's population. And one of the reasons that they're able to maintain this obscene disparity is because the obscenely wealth do not pay their fair share of tax. We need to do this. We need to close these loopholes properly. There are two aspects in the time I have left that I wanted to highlight, and they were highlighted in the minority report that the Green Party participated in. Firstly, the anti-money laundering provisions, phase 2, covering lawyers, accountants and real estate agents, has not yet been implemented as was recommended in the Sherwin Review, and we think that legislation should be brought forward quickly. There's hot money sloshing around from organised crime and from China in particular. We need to make sure that New Zealand isn't ending up as a haven for hot money. as well as a haven for tax. And secondly, we don't think the legislation on disclosure of foreign trusts goes nearly far enough. We would support a public register of foreign trusts. This is the disinfectant of sunlight, of transparency that is needed in order to properly ensure that the wealthy pay their fair share of tax. Thank you.
Alistair Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to